I'd like to start by sharing a bold statement, and that bold statement is that I believe that Unleash is the future of healthcare. A lot of what Unleash is about is leaning into your fears and following your highest excitement.
Sometimes as an artist, we just forget where the well is, and like, Unleash helped me find my well again.
I feel like I'm putting my best foot forward to contribute in the best way that I know how. And I know that what I'm giving the power for people to do is to contribute their best foot forward in the best, most unique way that they know how as individuals and as a collective. Dang. Boom. It wasn't until the age of 35, after a divorce, I wrote down exactly what I wanted to experience in my life. I want to be surrounded by artists, musicians, open-minded, world game changers, sexually expressed beings that are creative. And if we look at artists in general, they're definitely moving to a beat of their own drum. They're always innovative, always creating, always outside of the box, outside of the norm. And I had a sense inside of me that I was an artist, or I was different, but I hadn't quite allowed myself to be that.
Within moments of the beginning of the festival, Yarixa had stripped down naked.
I was there to activate the space and give the permission to go all out so that everyone could go all out, so that everyone could actually access their most free-spirited, liberated part of themselves. And that's where Unleash was born. It was an embodied experience that felt like my life's calling.
Breathing in with pleasure. Out with relief.
When I danced and my full body came online, one could have said in watching me that it was sexual, that it was sensual. And I felt the sexuality and the sensuality move through my body, but I had no thought about it. It just was. It was in its pure erotic innocence.
By the end of that initial performance, you could hear a pin drop in the crowd. And we were all just standing there with our mouths open, you know, like, what are we here for? And she proceeded to share some really intimate, vulnerable experiences from her childhood that just set the tone for the shameless environment we were entering into.
Give yourselves permission to be totally and completely free.
Unleash is addressing the psychological, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, all in one, and for hundreds of people at one time.
I'd never been to a container where it was exclusively sober, also a closed container, so everyone that was there stayed the entire time, and it had an intimacy to it that I really felt safe to drop into a deeper version of myself and a more authentic version of myself. Everyone feels safe, and especially the women feeling safe. I think it's rare to be in an environment like that where there's so much stress on consent and boundaries, and everyone there is educated, everyone there is informed, and I think that really allowed me to let my guard down in ways that I hadn't before.
This is the first time, you know, it being seen or coming to light, and naturally that needs a space and a level of safety handled with care. in order for people to move past their traumas, integrate these parts of themselves in a healthy way. And I know Unleash is here to serve and support that. Intuitively, when I went into this, when I created Unleash and was set forward into my calling and my dharmic path, through the very thing I feared the most doing, which was explicitly dancing, it led me to birthing a whole movement. And this is what people will get to experience at being on Unleash. It's like they get to birth their own creativity and their own movements, and they get to be connected to a purpose, to people, to humanity, to caring more for the earth because they're more present, to actually being attuned and sensitive to what's happening in the world and how they can be a contributing solution versus adding more to the problem.
Remember, you have the power to awaken and rise into your truth at any moment. Your destiny is one of bliss because of the pain.
And now, let your body stir a little bit. Feel your feet. Feel your toes. Bring some movement into your fingers. Everybody on your feet for Yarixa!
Hello? I just would love somebody to give me a time check to see how much time I have, if you could give me a sign. Okay, and how much time do I have? 12 minutes. Okay, perfect. Incredible. How y'all doing this morning? Who was here last night? Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Thank you all for coming last night. Wow. Well, this is the art of being seen. And my name is Yari Ferrao. I might need a different mic. Yeah. Okay. Nope.
Your frequency is just Hello? Wow, you are powerful.
Perfect. Oh, that's better. Okay. I want to say my last name one more time because I really like saying it. It's so much fun. Ferrao. Okay. Yes. So the art of being seen. How many of you in this room have ever experienced feeling scared to be seen? Okay, that's a grand majority in the space. Who didn't raise their hand? Okay, beautiful. Were you scared to be seen last night as you spoke in the middle and it took you some time to get into that space?
I don't think it's a matter of being seen. I think it's a matter of being judged based on my history. Most people think I'm supposed to be good at everything that I do. It's related.
Thank you.
Seen is judged.
Got it. And so we'll talk about that in the 11 minutes that I now have. But it's important to understand that if you have a belief, right, of being judged, you're going to be more inhibited to show yourself, therefore harder to be seen if you're not showing yourself, because there is some belief that is a limitation from you showing up in your most authentic self, because there's something there that's stopping you, right? Even if it's to sit in the front row, a lot of times you're afraid to come up to the front row. A lot of times people are afraid to raise their hand, right? And that's also a fear of being seen in your vulnerability. And that's what I'm talking about. So the art of being seen is really and truly a journey of self-acceptance and courage. And what you saw here right now in the video happens to be a 5-year culmination of this movement that I began, but it began with me seeing myself first and foremost. I had to step up to the most uncomfortable places that I'd never done before. I didn't grow up dancing. I went to one Zumba class, ran out. I used to storm out of salsa classes because I couldn't get the count, right? And here I am now that you see me on stage speaking on this microphone, which, by the way, public speaking was one of my biggest fears. Afraid to be seen on stage. I would sit where you are and probably further back and look at the speakers and trembled in my chair and sweated profusely. You know what I'm talking about? When you get the pancakes under your armpits, when you have a shirt on and you're so sweaty that everybody could see it through your shirt. My teeth would chatter watching somebody here on stage because there's a part of me that imagined myself being here on this stage speaking to people because I knew I had a message to deliver to the world. And that excitement is coupled with fear, right? How many of you have ever been excited about something and then immediately there's a thought about how you can't do it? Exactly. So I'm going to probably be having you do an exercise in a second, but ultimately what I want to get to here is that the bottom and core thing that stands in the way of you being seen, what do you all think it is? What stands in the way of being seen? Shame, projection, self-judgment, fear, protection, criticism, guilt, not good enough. Totally. So all of those things go back to the ultimate place of shame. The bottom of the bottom of the bottom, the lowest vibrational frequency on the planet. Because what shame is how you feel unable to belong because you feel that you are inherently flawed. That you crouch down in not being seen because whether you're not enough, who's ever thought you're too much, you're not enough, all of those core beliefs that come through get down to shame. And what we do with shame to overcome it. What do you guys think we do with shame to overcome shame? Twerk. That's right. You face it. You face it, and before facing it, remember this. Name it. When you name the shame, you release the shame. You name it out loud. So one thing that I did to name something that was really hard for me to say, that it took me 15 years to tell my mom, was that I was seeing women at the age of about 24, and I'm attracted to energy, so it could be man, woman, doesn't matter, but I wasn't fully aware at the time of 24 either. So I had to go through an entire journey, but keeping that from my family because I knew that I would be judged. I knew that there would be a problem with that. I knew that my older brother, who is gay, he showed himself, and then he was rejected by my family originally. And so it took me up until the age of 39, which was like 2 years ago, guys. 2 years ago was when I actually told my mom. But what did I have to do first before telling her? I had to actually, for the first time in my life, even accept that a part of me is gay. a part of me is gay. I had to say it out loud. And why did I have to do that? And this is how you know where there's shame. Somebody commented when I was posting on Instagram, like, oh yeah, you're queer. And I'm like, no, I'm not queer. I just like energy. I'm just like, no labels, please. Right? We're like, don't label me. Right? Because that's actually a coping mechanism sometimes, not all the time. Because when you're labeled, you're put into a box. And I don't like being put into boxes. However, when I really tuned in to the, rejecting that comment, you're rejecting something that you have inside that you're not wanting to name. And what happens is when you name the thing, then you can let it go. I don't fucking care at this point. It doesn't even matter. Am I gay? Am I straight? I don't fucking care, bro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but I had to accept it for me to say it to my family in a way that whatever they said, it wouldn't even matter because I already accepted myself. So therefore, they accepted me with so much grace. With so much grace. My family didn't accept Unleash at the beginning. I had to take them off my social media because they were commenting and telling me that this is inappropriate. But now they love it. They're like, 4 years later, it took them. So I want you to know that you have to be so courageous. And it's an art form of facing everything. Your fear, follow 2 principles. Follow your fear, lean into your fears, and follow your highest excitement. Both will lead you to the same place of home. Both will lead you to the same place. So what we're going to do right now, because we probably have 2 minutes, we're going to partner up. So you're going to partner with the person next to you. And you're gonna do this. You're gonna tell that person something that feels a little uncomfortable for you to say, something that is on your heart, but you're scared to name it out loud. And all of us here, can we agree that we're in a safe space right now? And whatever this person shares with you stays in this room. Can we agree to that, please? So you're going to tell something to somebody in 30 seconds, something that feels vulnerable for you. And that person, who's ever receiving it, after they hear you, they're going to say, thank you so much for sharing your vulnerability with me. Can we agree to that? Yes? Beautiful. Okay, so turn to your partner, whoever that might be. Say hi. You can make an animal sound if you like. Say, ah! Okay, so person A is going to be the person with the longest eyelashes. Person B, shortest eyelashes. I just need to let me get a timer. Yes, we're gonna wrap up in like 2 seconds. Yep. You guys can start. And 10 seconds, closing up what you're sharing. And saying to your partner, thank you so much for sharing that vulnerability with me. Breathe that in, and the second person can go ahead and go and share something vulnerable. And last 10 seconds to close this up. Yeah. And thank your partner for sharing something so vulnerable with you. If you all can hear me, clap once. I guess not everybody can hear me. If you all can hear me, clap once. Coming back to the space. Thank you all for sharing with each other vulnerably. And what I'll leave you with is simply that whenever you're feeling that closing in your body, whenever you feel that contraction inside of you, or hot flash, or that stir of emotion that feels uncomfortable, take a breath, number one, and sit with that. Maybe not right that moment, but maybe later check in with yourself about what were you thinking that made you or caused that stir that made you close. Because there's a gift in there for you, and the gift is that fear is the mask that freedom wears. So fear hides on top of freedom, because freedom is going to choose a really good spot for hide and go seek. Got that? And follow your highest excitement. Thank you so much. I love you. Have so much fun today. And come up to me if you have any questions. You can scan the QR code to connect with me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.